Greetings everybody, I hope you're good. Let's quickly have a look at US30, and we are on the monthly chart as you guys can see. And on the monthly chart of US30 we can see that price currently is at a very strong level of support, as we've had multiple rejections in that area, as you guys can see. And what this means is that we may be getting ready to push up, at least to this level over here, more or less, right? However, having said that, just also bear in mind that we have this candlestick as well. It is a liquidity candlestick, and it is carrying a lot of liquidity where it ends. And should price close below this level over here, which is this very strong level of support, what I would do is wait for it to head back to the level to test it. And at this point I would look for potential selling opportunities, and I believe that there's a very big chance that price may push further down to reach this level to trigger all of that liquidity at this point, right? So what I'm going to do now is just add a structure actually to this level, because it's a very, as I said, strong level of support, right? From here I'm just going to head down to the weekly chart, right? And here we are on the weekly chart. On the weekly chart we can see that price seems as it is looking to create a W structure, with the side potentially being the second leg of that W structure. And I know that at this point in time a lot of traders and investors are buying, because they've been taught that we always buy on that second leg of the W structure, and we place our stop losses just below, right? Anyway, let's proceed. So what else do we see, guys, in regards to the weekly chart of US30? At this point I don't really see much. So what I will do now is head to the daily chart. However, before I do so, let me just also remind you guys that we had this W structure, and it had a neckline at that point. And in the past I spoke about how a lot of the time the powers that control the markets usually use W and M structures as ways to actually create traps, because when it comes to W structures, as you guys know, a lot of us buy on that second leg of the W structure, and we place our stop losses just below here. So similarly, a lot of people bought at this point, placing their stop losses just below that point, right? Hence we had this entire move to the bottom side. This entire move, in my humble opinion, was a stop hunt, right? And what it says is that indeed we may be getting ready to potentially move up, at least to this level first, and then this level second, more or less, right? Anyway, we need confirmation, guys. I'm not saying that we should be buying at this point. At this point in time there's no confirmation. We need confirmation in order to start buying, right? Anyway, from here I'm just gonna head down to the daily chart, and here we are on the daily chart. Let's see. Yeah, here we are on the daily chart. So what do we see in regards to the daily chart that we should be paying attention to? On the daily chart, if you guys look closely, we had this M structure over here, which has a neckline at this level, more or less, right? And you guys know by now that when it comes to necklines, ideally we want to see price close to the bottom side of that neckline and then head back to the neckline to test it. And at that neckline we look for selling opportunities, as the anticipation is for the market to push further down. So similarly, the neckline here has been broken, and at this point in time we would love to see price head back to the neckline to test it. And at this point we may potentially look for selling opportunities. Having said all this, just remember that on the bigger time frames, on the weekly time frame, we spoke about possibly having a huge W structure, and that we might possibly see the market push further up. So what I'm doing, guys, is just showing you what may possibly happen and what we need to be looking out for, right? Let me just actually add a neckline to that M structure. Let's see. So there goes our neckline, more or less. And just remember, guys, that necklines are not a line, they are an area, right? There we go. And then I'm just going to utilize the Fibonacci retracement tool. Let's see Fibonacci. Let's have a look. and we can see that the neckline of this particular M structure aligns with the 38.2, let's say between the 38.2% as well as the 50% Fibonacci retracement levels, which are good levels, I believe. Right. Anyway, I'm just going to delete this structure, which is the Fibonacci retracement tool, and we know that the neckline of that M structure aligns with key areas of the Fibonacci tool. To add to that, we also have this candlestick over here. It is a liquidity candlestick. It is a bullish candlestick with a small body and a long upper wick, right? So it adds to the confluence in that indeed price needs to head to around this area, and as I said, at this area we will potentially look for selling opportunities. However, it is also possible that your price retrace to this level that we don't buy at all, and that'll be because we won't be having any confirmations, right, that confirm that indeed we should be selling, right? Because as I said, remember, we have this huge W structure rather, and we might potentially see price head up, right? So from here, what I'm going to do is head down to the daily chart. However, before I do so, let me just actually add a marker for that liquidity candlestick, because it is extremely important. So just bear with me, guys, while I do this. There we go. There goes our marker for that liquidity candlestick, and let's proceed. In fact, before we proceed, I actually want to add my channel on the daily chart. Just bear with me. Let's see, more or less. So there goes our daily channel. We just need to ensure that it is pretty much accurate, as I always say. That's very important, guys. There we go, right? Let's see. So here we are on the daily chart. What else do we see, guys, in regards to the daily chart? I don't see much at this point. I'm gonna head down to the H4 chart. On the H4 chart, I'm just gonna fix my lines. Just bear with me while I do so. Let's see. There goes my channel, and let's have a look, right? Remember, guys, that on the, let me just fix this one line as well. There we go. Remember that on the daily chart we spoke about how we have this M structure over here, which has a neckline at that point, and we said that the neckline aligns with the 38.2% as well as the 50% rather Fibonacci retracement levels, right? So as much as that's the case, guys, can you guys also see that? Let me actually just zoom in a bit. Can you also see that as much as we have that huge M structure, we also have another smaller M structure over here, right, which has a neckline at that point, right? We could also say that the very same structure is a head and shoulders pattern, as you guys can see, right? It's the same structure, really. It doesn't really matter, and it has a neckline at that point, more or less, right? And we saw price breaking to the downside of that structure and then hitting back to retest the neckline of that head and shoulders pattern or M structure, and price moved further down. So we would have looked for potential selling opportunities at this point, right? Had we seen this confirmation, right? Anyway, let's proceed. I believe that actually this structure has actually played itself out, because as I said, price broke the neckline, went up to the neckline to test it, and then pushed further down, right? This neckline, however, is still a strong level of resistance, and it's also very much in line with this other level, which is the neckline of that huge M structure. So that is confluence in as far as looking for potential selling opportunities goes at this level. However, should price from where it is retrace to this level, yes, we will look for selling opportunities, but we're gonna look for further reasons for why we should be selling. We're not just gonna sell just by virtue of having price reach this level, right? In fact, before we continue, I think I'm just gonna add my H4 channel as well. Just bear with me, guys. Let's see. Equidistant channel. There we go, more or less. Let's see. There we go, right? There we go. Another thing that I see is how this candlestick closed, right? Which is Friday's H4 candlestick, or one of Friday's H4 candlesticks, right? It closed as a rejecting candlestick, and like I said, guys, it may be indicating that we should start looking for buying opportunities. However, at this point in time, we need actual confidence to, confluence, right, to be buying. And at this point, I don't see any reasons to be buying, because I don't believe in just buying just by virtue of having price at a support area. Just to go back to the daily chart, right? Remember on the daily chart we spoke about the fact that price currently is at a very strong level of support, and we might potentially see this happen, play out, right? Just to go back to the H4 chart, having said that, I think we need further reasons and further confluence to be buying, right? But having said that, I know a lot of people have already bought because they see a W structure, right? And they also see this actual candlestick over here, which is a bullish candlestick with a small body and a long lower wick, which indicates that we should be reversing, right? Nonetheless, as I've said, myself personally, I need further confirmation to be buying at this point in time, right? If you do buy, or if you've bought, just remember that we have all of these obstacles in the form of necklines of those M structures, right? And yeah, at this point, as I said, I might potentially look for selling opportunities, right? Having said that, remember that we have this huge structure, and we might indeed see price push further up, right? So that is it in as far as my analysis goes. At this point in time, I don't see any buying or selling opportunities, right? Peace out, guys.